Uh, Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and a warm welcome to Mr. Sridhar, who is the Executive Director and CEO of ArcelorMittal Nippon Steel Coated Products, both in India, and he looks after Southeast Asian business as well for the entire coated products business. So he's responsible for the entire coated products business of ArcelorMittal Nippon Steel India. And he's a man who's, I would say, very knowledgeable as far as the coated markets are concerned. In fact, I have known him for many years, from the days this was a unit of SR Steel, erstwhile SR Steel. So I have been interacting with him from those days. And a warm welcome to you, Mr. Sridhar, and wish you a happy Navratri and season's greetings to you. So let us, if you're ready, Mr. Sridhar, we'll get going with.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sridhar. So first of all, AMNS India color coated sheets are manufactured in your state-of-the-art 0.4 million ton facility in Pune, and I have been to that unit more than a couple of times. How would you rate the quality and performance of your PPGI sheets, which have been used in a wide variety of very important, prestigious projects and applications?
Well, thank you again for inviting me on this forum. Firstly, let me introduce the coated business of AMNS. Between Hazira, Pune, and Indonesia, we have 2 million tons, and another 1.5 million tons should be coming on stream in the next 2 or 3 years. We have 70,000 tons of coated steel, color-coated production every month. And apart from our 3 plants which I mentioned, we also have 4 conversion points. And in a way, we can say that we would like to emerge as an Uber of color coating, so to speak. We have a market share of about 55 to 60% in the pre-painted galvanized in the domestic market. Okay, and we also export to about 110 countries around the world, and it is counting. We have 4,500 shades in the domestic color coating market, which we have pioneered over the last 20 years or so. In fact, this particular unit, Pune, was the first one to start color coating in the country, and it maintains that lead, so to speak. And we are also investing a lot in the coming years. So this is a general introduction. Now, coming to the specifics of what you had mentioned, what is the quality? So first and foremost, as I mentioned to you, 55 to 60% of the market share in pre-painted galvanized is with us. And about 6 months back, we have launched a new brand, which is Kalash brand, which for the distribution segment gives 3 years and 5 years warranty. Now, normally in the distribution segment, this sort of warranty is not given. This itself is a technical innovation. Now, having said that, we are going to build on this as we go along in the future. We also have supplied color coating sheets for a lot of marquee projects. Some of these are, especially after this Black Swan event. When I say Black Swan event, I'm talking about the pandemic, where there is a lot of emphasis on cold chain industries, medical refrigeration, and all that. So we have supplied to cold rooms. We have supplied to clean rooms, especially in the Hyderabad region. We also done a lot of medical refrigeration. These are some of the things which we have done, especially after this pandemic which has emerged. Apart from this, there is this Nobel laureate, Vidyadhar Naipaul used to say in his seminal book, which he got the Nobel Prize in Literature, India, a Wounded Civilization, in which he says the country is world's largest bathroom. Now, thanks to the Modi government, okay, we have 111 million toilets which have been constructed in the last 1.5 years or so. And AMNS has been at the forefront of this toilet block. It's a beautiful innovation, supplying color-coated for toilet blocks and all that stuff. And also we are at the forefront of replacing asbestos sheets by especially all these railway stations, Mumbai suburban railway stations and all that. So we have replaced asbestos sheets. Most of our color coating is going there. So apart from these interesting applications, We in India, Mr. Nitin Gadkari is constructing highways at the rate of 41 kilometers per day. This is, something achievement in the world. Now, and there is a highway code and what's the roadways code as well. At every intervals of 5 kilometers, you need to have petrol pump canopies and so on and so forth. That itself is a big demand booster for color-coated, especially petrol pumps, then toll nakas and canopies. So these are some of the things which are coming up in a big way. Apart from these, end users which are in the recent times, we are also doing a lot of OEMs and appliances. In one of the major appliance manufacturers, we have emerged as 100% share of business for their washing machines and 80% share of business for the refrigerators. So these are some of the things which we are doing, and we will take this forward.
Thank you, Mr. Sridhar. Now we'll go to the next question, which is about the market scenario. The estimation is that the present demand for color-coated sheets is around 2.3 million tons, whereas the installed capacity is much more. It stands at around 3.5 million tons. Now, obviously, a lot of capacity is still unutilized. So, by when do you expect an increase in capacity utilization, especially in the standalone units which are there? And where in one of the other webinars, you mentioned that there the capacity utilization is only to the tune of around 35%. So when do you expect this capacity utilization to go up? And a lot of new players are also coming into the market. If you know, yesterday we interviewed the managing director of JSPL, and he mentioned that in the next phase of expansion, they have plans to go in for color-coated and galvanized products in the next phase. So which means more and more players are entering this market. So do you really expect capacity utilization to go up in the short and medium term?
It's a good question. Thanks to, again, Government of India extending this anti-dumping for so many years going forward, and also this beautiful scheme that is PLI, Productivity Linked Initiative, Production Linked Initiative, which has come about, 6,000 crores, out of which 20% is going to be for coated steel and all that. So these are some of the schemes which will help in boosting the production of coated steel, especially color-coated in the country. Now, apart from this, some of these standalone players about whom you talked, they may have cash flow issues. Most of these standalone units have cash flow issues. That's the reason why, one of the reasons why they are running at the suboptimal capacities and all that. But with the improvement of demand and the rate at which the Indian color-coated industry is growing, the rate of 15% CAGR, I think most of these standalone mills will acquire near capacity utilizations, not only in India, but also exports. We in AMNS, our main target is in the domestic market. We are running to full capacity. We are also doing in the exports to 110 countries and all, but that's an afterthought. The main target is the domestic market. One of the ways in which we can improve, what should I say, the domestic market capacity utilizations and all that is this. You see, we in AMNS have two different models. One is the standardization model and the other one is the differentiation model. In the differentiation model, what I talked to you about, the cold chains, cold rooms, then all this railway stations, toilet blocks, and also some of the things as furniture segment, color coding the furniture segment, false ceilings. False ceiling is an excellent thing which is coming up. So these are some of the end users which people should, attack and then make use of them. There is again this biomimicry, that is steel imitating nature, like in wood finish, marble finish, so on and so forth. And then again, bus body building, bus body for galvanized as well as color coated, which is going into bus body. So, and then again, Hyderabad, apart from what I mentioned, a few minutes back, it has also emerged as an interesting destination for doors and window segment. So these are some of these differentiation, specialized products which we can look at and which we can improve our capacity utilization. But apart from this, we also have the standardization model which I mentioned to you earlier. The color changes were about for every 1,000 tons, we used to do about 10.2 color changes for every 1,000 tons. And every color change brings down your capacity because downtime is about 30 to 35 minutes. It brings down your capacity. Okay, because there is a loss of downtime, is a loss of time. Now, instead that, can we look at standardization? So what we have done is from 10 color changes per 1,000 tons, we have brought it down to 2.2 color changes per 1,000 tons. This itself is a productivity enhancer. It is going to, the downtime is eliminated in a way. So these are some of the things which we can look at. And, also this tier 2 and tier 3 and tier 4 cities. We have done a lot of work on the Indian rural hinterland. Okay, so now apart from the cities and all that, which we are concentrating on, we are also concentrating a lot on the rural areas. This itself is a big demand booster. So these are some of the ways in which we can look at enhancing the incapacity utilizations of various mills.
Thank you, Mr. Sridhar. Now, moving on to your expansion plans. We understand that MNC India is planning to expand the facility by 1 million ton during your next phase of expansion. Now, you already have added, in terms of ArcelorMittal's, let's say, the investment in Uttam Galva and all that, you already have some connected added facility, I would say, though strictly speaking, it is not a part of AMNS India, but it's a part of ArcelorMittal all the same. Now, this additional 1 million ton, when do you expect to complete this commissioning? And by when do you expect commercial production to start?
Let me clarify, Uttam Galva is not a part of AMNS or ArcelorMittal.
That's what I mentioned, yes.
It is not.
It's a part of ArcelorMittal.
ArcelorMittal has emerged as the sole bidder, but then the NCLT process is on and we await the outcome. We can't say anything at this point of time. Okay, so that's the clarification on Uttam Galva. Now, coming to this additional capacities, what say 1.5 million tons in the coated products. Some very interesting products are likely to be added to our portfolio. We have, I can say proudly say, we are the confluence of three major streams, Triveni Sangam in a way. That is to say, ArcelorMittal, Nippon Steel, and earlier SR Steel and all that. So we do have a lot of expertise and technologies coming from our mother companies, and that will add to our portfolio. And this will be added as we go along in the next 2 or 3 years of 1.5 million tons for the products, out of which a big chunk is color coated as well. So these are some of the things. And ArcelorMittal and Nippon Steel have also, apart from these products which are being told, which are coming to our portfolio, they have also added a lot of technical expertise which have been told to us, have been given to us. For example, on the production side, we have eliminated bottom dross. We have sort of brought down the sink roll changes from 4.5 sink roll changes per month to almost 1 to 1.5. So these are some of the technical inputs which are coming, changing of the pot chemistry, management of the pot chemistry. So these are some of the things apart from what you call Six Sigma projects which have launched with the help of ArcelorMittal. And then again, cycle time reduction, CTR, lean CTR as we call it. Reducing the handling time in the pickling area by 10 seconds, reducing the handling time in the cold rolling mills by about 1 minute. So these are many things which have been added, and that is apart from improving our efficiency, is also improving the quality of the product. So these are the things which are there, and we will see some exciting things coming up in the next 1.5 to 2 years, I would say.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sridhar. So we understand that there will be a change in a partial change in at least the product mix during the next phase.
Yeah, correct.
Thank you. So now we go on to a little bit more on details on the market share of AMNS India. So as of now, the market is reflecting a CAGR of around 12% as per the figures given by you. So what kind of growth does AMNS India target during the current fiscal year and moving ahead in the next 1.5 years? What kind of growth do you expect in terms of your market share?
I don't see that we can increase the market share beyond whatever we already have. Okay, and well, 55 to 60% is a good enough market share in the color pre-painted galvanized segment. Now, having said that, recently we also have achieved Green Pro certification. Green Pro certification is from the Confederation of Indian Industries for our color coater. So that's also adding to our brand value in a way, apart from the Kalash brand, which we have launched already. And we also have a unique distribution model. Apart from Hypermart, which has a pan-India presence and it goes to the last mile and all that, we also have some exclusive distributors. Now, what do these exclusive distributors bring to the table? They sort of, we as a mill do not give credits to anybody. Okay, so that is a strict no-no. But the exclusive distributors, they do not go to anybody else, no other mill. At the same time, we don't sell to anybody else in a particular region, apart from some of them. Now, they give the credit to last mile customers and last mile service in a way, and they give you about 5 or 6 colors. In one single truck, they give you 5 or 6 sizes in one single truck, 5 or 6 widths in one single truck. So this is a bespoke service which some of our distributors give to the market. Now, because of this, AMNS product is quite popular. In fact, sometime prior to AMNS takeover, we had launched what is called a SR Omnipresence scheme, or rather SR Omnipresence campaign. You go to any nook and corner of the country, we have every second sheet in the country is from Pune Facility SR Steel. But after AMNS takeover, we now have it AMNS Omnipresence campaign in a way. So because of our distribution model, because of the variety of colors, the diversity of colors which we offer, we have the both standardization and the differentiation model, and also the various brands which we are launching, and our presence in the tier 2 and tier 3 segments and tier 4 segments of the country. We are in a big way. I would say that I will not cross 55 to 60% market share. We'll remain at that.
Thank you so much. So,
sometimes we have to run faster to be in the same place. That's also important.
Yes, because new entrants are also entering the market. So they will also give a good chase for your money. Yeah. So now moving on to the details of, let's say, your flagship facility, which is the Pune facility. Right from the beginning, when SR Steel acquired that plant from the Ajmeras, so from that time, I have been listening to one particular phenomenon, which was that this facility was catering to a lot of small customers in countries like Italy for roofing applications. But they are small quantities, but quite a few in number. Now, how much of coated products is AMNS India exporting during the current fiscal? And moving forward, what is your export target during the next fiscal?
I would put it this way. Our primary focus is the domestic market. Okay. And whatever is left out of it, we do export. And exports in a way is a safety valve. It's nothing more. If the domestic consumption goes down, and steel is, of course, a cyclical industry and all that. So in a way, it is a safety valve. Now, coming specifically to the exports, what we talked about from the Pune facility. Earlier, whatever color coated was there in Europe, our unit here in Pune was synonymous with India. Okay, if anybody sees the Indian product, Indian color coated in Europe, they used to identify with this unit because that was the brand equity or brand recall, I would say, over a period of time. And as I mentioned, we are exporting to about 110 countries around the world, both especially in Europe. Okay, Portugal, Italy, Spain, Greece, Poland, and whatnot, and also Germany, Sweden, Russia, so on and so forth. So our quality has been well accepted. And also we are doing a lot to Mexico, we are doing to Africa, we are going to Southeast Asia, Thailand, so on and so forth. So world over we are there. Okay, now one of the most important points what we do is we don't get into any brutal competition with any both Indian or Chinese mills or so. It's that beautiful concept of a blue ocean strategy, as we call it. So every month my team gives you what are the major exporters in the world to whom they export. So wherever they don't export, we go there. So in a way, we are chalking out uncharted market spaces for ourselves. So let's say China is anti-dumped for CR full hard in Indonesia. Why don't we export there? Okay, just to give you an example. Incidentally, China is anti-dumped for color coated in Europe. That's how it started that we should be in Europe in a big way. So similarly, there are other destinations as well. So that's the reason why, we pick and choose our export markets and where we can offer value. So I mentioned to you some very interesting applications which we cater to. Like, for example, recently we have exported for the warehousing segment, Amazon warehouses in Italy and other places. We supply all this anti-wrinkle finish, anti-abrasive paints. These are some specialized, SKUs to whom we cater, and we supply to those places. Incidentally, this warehouse segment is emerged as a big thing thanks to post this lockdown and e-commerce and online systems and all which have come. Warehousing, cladding and sheeting and roofing for the warehouses, as well as the racking system, high density, what should I say, zinc coating, 450 grams, 500 grams, racking systems and all that. There is also another thing which we have, struck gold in the Indian market. That is to say, India produces about 55 to 60 million tons of food grains every month, out of which 8 to 10 million tons rot every year because of lack of warehousing space, lack of proper storage areas and all that. So we are now concentrating on green silos in a big way. We are also concentrating on solar segment in a big way. Thanks to, again, the Modi government's foresight and all that. 450 gigawatts, which is coming up for the solar renewable energies and all that. So that's again a big segment for galvanized. So we are not only doing it for India, but we are also going to export some of these specialized applications worldwide. Incidentally, for Qatar, we have hospital beds in hospitals in Qatar. We have exported color-coded sheet about 6 or 7 months back.
So it was a positive development in the sense that during the pandemic, this warehousing business went up because of the B2B, the online trade picking up in a big way. So AMNS India did stand to gain during this period in terms of a new revenue coming up or growth in a new revenue. Now, moving on to the new products which AMNS India developed. I remember a couple of years ago when I was interviewing you in Pune, you told me that you developed a certain product, those days of course SR steel, which reduces the heat by around 4 degrees. It has a cooling effect, which you mentioned to me at that point of time. Now, of late, I understand you have developed antiviral during, especially it became very important during the pandemic.
Antiviral, anti-COVID.
Yeah, anti-COVID.
Antiviral, anti-COVID, antibacterial.
Antibacterial for products like medical refrigeration. So could you briefly highlight the new products that you have developed and what kind of, let's say, market response you've been getting with these new anti-COVID and antiviral coated products that was developed by
anti-COVID and antiviral is most germane to the current situation. And we have just about launched it. I think we are the first company in India to have launched anti-COVID. So this is one. And the second point, what is talked about, cooling effect, cool roofs and all that. Some of these paints reflect heat. See, in a typical, building which emits heat, there is a heat island which forms at the, top of a building. Now, it is this heat islands which we have to eliminate. Okay, so if you have a roof which reflects heat more, okay, like a RAL 9006 metallic silver paint, or there are many other paints as well, RAL 9007, etc. Now, they reflect away heat, and to that extent, they have a cooling effect. So there is a perceptible drop of about 3 to 4 degrees centigrade if you have reflective paint, and which anti-heat island effect. So it drops the temperature by 3 to 4 degrees centigrade. We have that product in our stable, and some of our paint suppliers have attained international prominence in this, and they are also helping us in this. It's a sort of a unique ecosystem which we have with our paint suppliers. Just as an aside, let me put it this way, that about 7 to 7.5 years back, we had launched a process innovation in our Pune plant, okay, which brought down the costs, which had improved our productivity of the lines. Our lines were running, the color coating line was running at about 80 to 85 meters per minute. Now it runs at about 135 to 140 meters per minute. It is because of this process innovation which has come about and which was reducing cost. And we would be one of the lowest cost producers of between hot roll to color coated in this country, and perhaps in this part of the world, I would put it that way. So we have a lot of technical collaboration with our paint suppliers, and we continue to launch at periodic intervals some of these products.
Yeah, and is it only the paint which makes the difference, or do you have to add some other solvents to it to give that.
There's a whole lot of technology into this. Yeah.
Okay. Thank
But
you.
paint is also one of the components.
Right. So assuming that the present coated products demand in India, which you mentioned a couple of times earlier as well, is around 2.3 million tons. So out of that, you said that you have around 55-60% market share.
Let me clarify again. It's in pre-painted galvanized. We are not producing pre-painted galvanized.
Okay.
Okay. Which we may do eventually as we go along.
So as of now, your market share would be restricted to, leaving aside Galvalume. So your market share would still be around 55-60%. And
in pre-painted galvanized. Yeah. In pre-painted
and galvanized will be around 55-60%. Now, what is your target for the, let's say, next fiscal 22-23? Do you expect at least a marginal shift, or is it likely to remain exactly the same?
It should remain by and large, and we are also not interested to increase beyond this, the market share. And I also mentioned that it's itself a challenge to remain at this level.
Right. Now, in terms of, let's say, your unique sales proposition, what are the specific advantage or USP when it comes to M&S India products? And you've also recently branded it as Kalash. You know, branding was one part which was done by you, which I think gives an, I would say, additional edge over competition. So what are the specific advantages when you sell to a customer? What are the specific advantages which Kalash as a brand, which M&S India as a brand can offer to its customers compared to the off-the-shelf products which are available in the market? And how much are you branding? Is the entire product mix branded, or are you branding only a certain portion of your?
Well, we are evolving. We are moving towards more of branded products, but we are evolving. Now, having said that, what is the advantage which we offer to the customers? Our service, no other plant would give the delivery times between 4 to 7 days the way we do. Okay, from the time you place an order to our quick service, this is what has sort of given us this unique selling proposition in the domestic market because of our faster lead times. So this is one. And the second point is our accelerated new product development. You know, the amount of new products which we offer from at periodic intervals is something amazing. Okay. Now, coming to Kalash, yes, we have branded this. We give both 3 years and 5 years warranty, and against various parameters, chalking and fading, and what should I say, salt spray test, and so on and so forth. So I would say the response has been quite positive, and we will take this forward as we go along.
So as of now, your entire product mix is not branded. You are evolving in the sense that gradually you are, let's say, picking up segments where you feel branding should be incorporated.
Yeah, sure.
So ultimately, do you think all your products will be branded at one stage?
Let's say another year or two, we would move towards the situation. I mean, exports you can't brand. Other than exports and other than appliances, everything else will be branded.
Yeah, but specifically, if I may quote Mr. V.R. Sharma, yesterday during his interview, he mentioned that branding is more important for the retail segment. For institutional sales, you really literally don't need so much of branding as much you need for the retail segment. So when it comes to institutional sales, because a good part of your products also go into institutional sales. So
the company name itself becomes a brand. Exactly. The company name itself becomes. Just to tell you, this cold storage which has come up in the last 1 year is something interesting. Okay, now our color coded is going into horticulture. Just about a week back, we heard that in Guntur, Andhra Pradesh, that our color coated, I mean, what you call as cold storage, was being used for chili powder in the chilies. And in Pune, where I stay, it is also used as a chocolate essence, cold storage, refrigeration for chocolate essence. So these are some of the interesting applications which have come up recently.
Right. Now, with the related questions, let me move on to the user segments, particularly construction, infrastructure, roofing and cladding, the cold storages, refrigerated containers, warehouses, which you rightly mentioned, and the other white goods. Now, when it comes to the selecting the right criteria, when it comes to selecting the quality, what are the specific things like coating thickness, finishing? What are the other specifications which a customer must keep in mind? And what are the special features which makes you different from those of your competition? And when it comes to R&D efforts, what are the recent innovations and developments which have taken place at AMNS India, particularly Pune facility?
I already mentioned about anti-COVID, antibacterial, the cold rooms, clean rooms, these are some of the medical refrigeration, and some of these things, especially applications apart from products. New products, there is a new application. The same product can be used for different applications, which I mentioned to you, some of these applications just now. So this is what we are going to concentrate on. Warehousing is an important segment. The various finishes. In the case of color code, we look at various finishes: marble finish. Then we have this, wood finish. Wood finish for the furniture segment is again an interesting development. So these are some of the things which we are looking at. Now, what does a customer look at when he buys? He will obviously look at the reliability of the brand, the reliability of the service. We give service within 4 to 7 days for a normal product. The specific products will have a different lead time. Then again, the quality. Let me tell you, after this process innovation, which we had launched about 7 years back, not a single claim of paint peeling has come in recent times. In the last so many years, it has not come. So much so that one of the leading management institutes in the country have said that we like to have a case study of the turnaround which has happened in the Pune plant, with regard to the profitability, with regard to the production, the volumes, and especially with regard to the new product development which we have launched.
Yeah, but as a layman, for example, a customer as a layman, I go to, let's say, AMNS India Hypermart, and I say, for my roofing, I need color sheets. I know the brand, the colors. I have a brand recollection, but at the same time, I do not know what whether the coating thickness should be around 40 microns or 50 microns. I do not know what the sheet thickness should be. I do not know what kind of load factor I should be talking about. So, what are the particular criterion which the customer should keep in mind when buying a coated sheet?
We also have a knowledge, what's a cross-functional team visiting various customers. That is quality, production, sales, and so on and so forth. It's a knowledge sharing exercises. We have a lot of knowledge sharing exercises with the customers, especially to what you have talked about. Okay, what sort of color, thickness, width, etc., that you should be looking at. So, and also we have a lot of wider width color coded. We can go up to 1450, 1550, and so on and so forth. Now, this is one of the knowledge awareness sessions which we are recently conducting. If you use a wider width, so your cover width also increases. So the steel which you consume is going, the cost of steel which you consume per ton is going to come down. So this is another. These are to give you an example, typical example of what sort of knowledge sharing exercises which we do with the customers, telling them that instead of using 1220 or 1320 millimeter, why don't you go up to 1540, 1550, 1450, etc. The wider you use, the profile, the cover width of the profile which you make out of it is going to give you more saving. Sometimes 8 to 10% saving vis-a-vis the normal 1220 or 1320 millimeter width. So these are the type of knowledge sharing which we do. And then again, we are in continuous dialogue with our various customers, and our customers have a long-term loyalty with us. We tell them, say, what sort of new color which we have launched. For example, this anti-code, we have already talked to various people, and then we'll be launching it again. It's a sort of a hand-holding exercise. And, especially in the project areas where we not only give steel, as it were, but we also give the various accessories, which goes with steel. So this again is a knowledge sharing and continuous hand holding with the customers, so that we serve them better.
Yeah, in fact, but along with that, I'm not naming your competitor, but one of your competitors, I know for sure, also offer what you call applicator support. So do you offer that kind of support through your hypermart? Suppose a customer needs an applicator to put up his entire roofing facility. Would you
Yeah,
be
we are
able
coming
to?
up. We are coming up with those facilities as well. We are coming up with those facilities. And then again, there is, apart from, there is a beautiful saying of Foist Alpine. We don't make more steel, we make more of steel. Okay, so now with that tagline, so we are offering some services already. Okay, now we will take this up further, as we go along. And then apart from offering services and say coils or so on and so forth, we are going to come up with the various profiles in a big way. Okay, now standing seam roof profile may not be directly supplied by us, but in partnership with the various conversion agents and all that all across the country. Launching the various profiles, standing seam roof profiles. What is it called as a fastener-free profiles, roofless profiles. So there's various things which we are already
Right.
on the annual, and some of it is already being actioned.
Just a small query that I have. Approximately how many shades are you able to sort of produce right now? Let's say the number of shades which you can offer.
Before I answer that question, I want to say this. We can have a subsequent interview, say about 6 months down the line, where we are now having what is called as ideas marketing as well. Now, it is this ideas marketing where we are going to do cutting edge innovations with regard to the way, what sort of offerings you will bring. But I will not, it will be, I would like to give
Premature right now, yeah.
Eventually 6 months down the line, you will come to know. But having said that, your question, where do we take this from now onwards? Okay, now most of these profiles and all are being thought of, but some of them are already actioned. So this will evolve as we go along, I would say.
Okay. So customer can decide that this is Merawala Pink kind of situation where customer.
Exactly. But I will talk about the 6 months down the line.
Great. So that's again one more positive development with regard to the product front which we are looking at in the next 6 months. Now coming to the last part, I have been interacting with you for quite some time. Perhaps close to when did the Ajmeras took over? From the Ajmeras, when did SR take over? That was
2009.
2009. So shortly after that, I think I've been meeting you since 2012-13, so almost going to be perhaps 8 or 9 years. When did you join? 2013?
I've been a part of this unit since 2006.
Okay, yeah. But I think it was
now it's almost 15 years plus.
Yeah. So that's why, I always keep calling you as a veteran in the coated products market. And I don't think, if I look at your competitors, none of them could perhaps boast of having someone with having such a long experience in the same product line. So I would say, in a way, you are a leader when it comes to this particular segment in the market. Now, what are your plans as not only the ED but the CEO of entire AMNS India and the other related operations, including Indonesia, as well as very soon, perhaps even once the Uttam is fully in your fold. So all that put together, you will be one of the largest players in the coated products market in India. So, what are your plans to make AMNS India the flagship unit within AMNS when it comes to, I would say, value-added product? Because this is something, maybe in terms of size, it is small in the whole AMNS India family or AMNS India entire portfolio. But in terms of value addition, this is something which is a real value-added product. So, with the related Government of India's PLI scheme, which looks at value addition, how much do you think the coated product segment is likely to gain, and what can you contribute to the nation towards this effort?
Let's put it this way: we are not small part of AMNS. In fact, if AMNS's capacity is about 7.5 to 8 million tons, we are about 2 to 2.5 million tons, almost, 23 to 24% of in terms of volume, and in terms of value, maybe even higher. Now, your point, like what would be offerings in the years to come? We, as a confluence of three different major streams, ArcelorMittal, Nippon Steel, and as well as earlier Essar Steel. So we bring the advantages of all these three, especially our two mother, companies. What we have, ArcelorMittal and Nippon Steel. Now we will be launching some very interesting products as we go along in the next 1.5 years or so. Yes, we would be one of the leading producers and players in the domestic as well as international market in the coated products. Incidentally, our Indonesia unit is doing very well. Unlike India, which has got various trade barriers across the world with regard to being anti-dumped in US and Canada, and also having all these restrictive quotas in Europe, etc. But Indonesia is off the radar. It is. It is also exporting every month. Out of 30,000 tons which you make per month, nearly about half a million tons which you have capacity there. Okay. Now Indonesia is a part of the ASEAN 10 member, and so therefore it has got a free access to all of them. Okay, zero duty. Then again, it is also exporting to all these destinations which we can't from India, and or we also do with a lot of restrictions. Indonesia has got a free pass into all this. So it is that area also we are going to concentrate quite a lot on in improving and enhancing the capacity of Indonesia. And it's a great market to be in. So that's on that side. Now, coming to India as such, I have mentioned all the various activities which we are likely to do in the years ahead. And yes, we would like to emerge as one of the largest players here, taking the advantage, leveraging the advantages and the technical expertise of our mother, companies.
So that's all for today, ladies and gentlemen. That was Mr. Sridhar for you, with his long experience sharing the details of ArcelorMittal Nippon Steel India coated steel business, as well as an overview of the coated steel market in India. And I'm sure those of you who watched it on YouTube today or are going to watch it, if you need a printed transcript of the entire thing, this entire interview is also going to be available in the October issue of the printed version of Steel and Metallurgy. So if you want to keep it as a record, as a part of longer shelf life, you are most welcome to get a copy of Steel and Metallurgy October issue, where Mr. Sridhar's interview will also be carried. And this interview is there on YouTube for you to share. So we want you to share it to everyone and forward to all your associates in the industry. Thank you, Mr. Sridhar.
Thank you.